Hey first grade, it's Mrs. Haas. I thought that we could make a little Easter bunny craft today. Everything I used to make this Easter bunny, I found around my house. So I'm going to list the different tools that you will need, and then after I list them, pause this video and see if someone can help you find all of those different tools that you'll need to make this Easter bunny. So the tools that you will need would be an old sock. It can be any old sock. It doesn't matter if it's patterned or not. If it is patterned, we will have to flip it inside out. So just make sure that you can't see tons of different print unless it's black and white and you want it to be like a black and white bunny. So you'll need a sock. You'll need a few rubber bands. I believe you'll need 3 of them. You will need a pair of scissors, some sort of cup or glass, a Sharpie, and then 1 cup of rice. So go ahead and get those materials, and I will see you back here in a second. Okay, so what we're going to do to get started is you first need to grab your glass. And I'm going to put this bunny right here so you can just take a quick peek at it while I am building the next bunny in my glass. So take your glass and then take your sock. If you did have a pattern and wanted to flip it inside out before you put it back inside of the cup. So then we're just going to take the elastic part or the stretchy part of the sock and we're going to stretch it to go around the side of the cup. So now I should see a little hole inside of my cup. Well, that is where I'm going to create kind of the stuffing or the filling for my bunny. So I'm going to take my rice and I'm going to dump it inside of the sock. This is about 1 cup of rice. So if it starts to fill up close to the top, you can just kind of push it down in there. And then I'm going to fill up the rest. Push it down in there. And you know what? If you're starting to fill up and you can't push it down anymore, maybe just scoot the edge of your sock up. That way you give yourself a little bit more sock space. Perfect. Okay, so now that it's all gently pushed in there, make sure you're careful when you're pouring your rice because that can go everywhere and that can be a big spill. But once I'm finished, I'm going to pull the elastic edges off and then I'm going to grab my glass so that I don't knock it over and I'm going to go ahead and pull my sock out of my glass. So now I just have a sock that's stuffed with rice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a rubber band and I'm going to put it around the top of my sock. So the rice stops right about here, and then I'm going to put my rubber band right above that. Make it tight enough so that the rice cannot come out of the sock. So nice and tight. I'm going to make sure I wrap it around quite a few times. If you need help with that, you can ask an older sibling or an adult at home. Okay, so now I have kind of like a pear-shaped bag of rice, and then I have part of my sock that's sticking up out of the edge. Well, towards the end, we're actually going to go ahead and cut this to make our bunny ears. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to separate a chunk of my rice pile for my head, and the other chunk is going to be kind of this bottom part of their body. So I'm going to separate it like that with my fingers, and then I'm going to take another rubber band and I'm just going to wrap that rubber band not as tightly as I did the first one, but just so you can see a little bump in where the head is and then where the body is. So this is what my bunny looks like right now. And so I have my head and then I kind of have my body here. The next step is I do want my bunny to have a little tail. So I'm going to come to where I would call the back of my bunny and I'm just gonna pull out a little bunch. I'm going to put a rubber band around that. If you have to try a couple times, that's okay. Just be patient. I'm going to make a little bunny tail. So she'll look just like that. I have my little bunny tail right here. So Now I'm going to think about where's my tail. So where should my face be? My face is going to be on the opposite top side of where my tail is. So I'm going to flip it to the opposite side and go up. That's where my face is going to be. So my tail is back here. My face is going to be up here. And where my face is, I'm going to now take my Sharpie, or if you have a black marker, that would work as well. And I'm going to put 2 dots. I have to make them a little bit thick. 2 dots for my eyes, and you can kind of create these eyes however you want them to be. So I have 2 eyes for my bunny. And then I'm going to make, below my eyes, I'm going to make a little triangle. And that is going to be my bunny's nose, just like that. So a little triangle. I know it looks kind of strange right now, but next I'm going to make their mouth. It is going to look like a J and then a backwards J, and I'll show you what that looks like. A J and then a backwards J. So one regular J and then one backwards J. And you know what? If you want to create this face in a different way, that is completely up to you. And then finally, I'm just going to make some whiskers. So I'm going to make 3 lines on each side to be the whiskers of my bunny. So there's my bunny's face. And then my final step is going to be to make some ears. So if you want to use your Sharpie and just kind of draw out what those bunny ears would look like, go ahead and do that. And then we're going to try to cut them out. Now, I would definitely recommend asking an adult or an older sibling to help you cut this, especially because when you cut fabric, it's a bit tougher than when you're cutting paper. So have an adult or an older sibling help you with that. You can really make these bunny ears however you would like to. See here. There's 1. There's 2. Take your time on these. I'm rushing right now. I don't want you guys to get going and making yours, but take your time when you're making yours. Almost there. Well, I'll cut the rest of that off as soon as I end here. But so here are my ears. I'm just going to cut the rest of the back off in just a moment. And this is what my bunny looks like. Pretty cute. So if you have some ribbon at home, what you could also do is you could put ribbon over where those rubber bands are. That way you can't see the rubber bands. I don't have any here, so I'm not going to use any. I'm just going to use mine like this. What you could also use, instead of rubber bands, if you don't have any, you could use a hair tie or a ponytail or something like that. So have fun and send me some pictures if you guys do make your little Easter bunnies. Have a great day. Miss you guys. Bye.